This is Action Jack.
And Burgermeister.
And here we are in Shereko Summit. This is in Riverside County in California. This is the beautiful statue of George S. Patton. Birgit and I are paying our respects. Now we're going to go in to the Patton Museum. This is open 363 days a year. It's closed on Christmas and on New Year's.
No, Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much. That's right. All right, here's the beautiful relief map. Birgit really liked this map.
Because that's the Desert Training Center. It's huge, and they've trained over almost 2 million guys there, and they trained them because George Patton wanted to win the war in North Africa against Germany, and their General Rommel there. And so they had to practice in the same kind of terrain and same kind of weather, and this is what this area here is. And that encompasses 29 palms and half of Joshua Tree, all that whole area. And so
It's 250 miles long, 350 miles wide. It is absolutely gigantic.
And the fact that he knew that because America lost the first battle with Rommel, and he said, we're not doing that one again, so he trained the troops. And they knew how to deal with the weather, they knew how to deal with the terrain, and so they went out and got the job done.
Yes, and they had a remarkable amount of manufacturing that they did in a short period of time.
Yeah, there's the Salton Sea, which is still not interesting.
All right, here's a bust of George Patton, and then we're going to walk through the museum. We'll do it.
Yeah, he's going to go through a bunch of the uniforms and stuff. Place is full of massive memorabilia. Most of it's World War II because that's when Patton was a general, and that's when he fought. He also did World War I, and before that was at Pancho Villa. He went after him. I think he got him, right?
Yes. And here's a quote: "A pint of sweat will save a gallon of blood."
And that means what?
It means that if you're prepared, you're not scared, but you got to really be prepared. And he didn't think you could be over-prepared. You wanted to be so that it would be a reflex on how you would respond in battle.
That makes total sense. If you're a soldier, you got to know what to do. So this museum shows everything that Patton did in so many ways. This is called Camp Young because that was the main camp that General Patton conducted exercises from, and whatever they call that when they did their training exercises.
Maneuvers.
Maneuvers. I knew that was a big word.
Those are some of the big shells and armaments that they have here.
But this was fantastic, and it's got every kind of uniform imaginable because every part of the service had a different uniform, and then I didn't know there were this many varieties of helmets. Did you have any idea that everybody has a different helmet?
It's quite amazing, isn't it? From
Yes.
all the different branches of the armed services.
They even have some non-American helmets in there, just like they have this uniform from World War II, Germany.
Yes, that was designed by Hugo Boss, by the way.
Yeah, really?
This was one of the. My interest in Patton came in 1970 when I was 14 years old, and I saw this movie. 14 and change, maybe 15, and it was a big thing to me. I loved this movie, the movie Patton, which was written by Francis Ford Coppola, and he won Best Screenplay for that, and also won Best Picture and Best Actor by George C. Scott. And the dialogue was just tremendous, and most of it was just excerpts from the actual quotes of Patton.
Yeah, he's looking good right here. Looks
Yes.
just like him, doesn't it?
That's when he was a 3-star general.
Yes. He could have made it to 5, but he got
He wasn't
cut off in the
he
prime of
wasn't
life.
politically correct.
No, he wasn't.
And so he had his detractors in the service.
Yeah. He was a warrior. He wasn't a politician, and so he would be pretty blunt about a lot of things. And sometimes the higher ups didn't appreciate that.
He was a keen student of Scripture, by the way.
Yes, he was. Do you remember that episode where he asked the preacher to pray for? Was it for rain?
No, there was terrible rain and sleet, and he asked for a chaplain that was effective, and he asked him to write a prayer, and the prayer is at this museum, and it's a beautiful prayer.
I know, I should have taken a picture of it. So I thought I saw that.
This is where he wanted to be a peacekeeper by getting rid of the warriors that were fighting the wrong fight.
Yes, and this is just some of the paraphernalia left over from World War II.
And here's the different
Look at the
pistols
guns.
and the different rifles that they had.
It's amazing the variety of weaponry that's out there, and this is just a small selection of the rifles and guns that we used in that era.
So there it is in the
14 on his
1914,
horse.
right?
He
And
was raised very wealthy, so he had all the benefits of being raised well.
he was in the pentathlon, and he was an excellent marksman, and he was an excellent swordsman, and he designed the fencing sword there and the saber on the right.
That was it showed 1912 Stockholm Olympics, and he came in fifth. So
Yes.
that's pretty good.
He was excellent. He believed that he was robbed, by the way, that they didn't
The judges.
give him the right scores when it comes to shooting. But nonetheless,
And that's his West Point jacket, overcoat, that he wore in 1909 when he graduated, or when he was at West Point.
yes, like I
that's
say, a
pretty
tremendous athlete, a great boxer, could do the martial arts very, very well. And that's from World War I. And he also fought with Pancho Villa, by the way.
He won.
Yes, and these are called the cousins. They said that because of the being closely related in battle and in strategy. They had to get along. So the ones that we would know the most of would be Eisenhower, Bradley, and then there is
My favorite, Patton.
Patton. Now here's a story about Patton and Rommel. They were adversaries, but they respected each other. In fact, Patton actually studied Rommel's literature, and that's how he was able to defeat him.
And
they,
the families are still friends.
to this very day. That is a replica of the
39 Cadillac.
Yes, which
He doesn't have.
he loved that car. Now that's Al Jolson. He was considered to be a great entertainer of the time.
Well, this room here is just basically about the UFO, which went
USO.
around, US. Oh yeah, sorry, UFO, USO, which went around entertaining the troops in different venues,
So
and that was nice to have. Bob Hope, of course, leading the charge on that for many, many years, and it was nice to have that because morale is important for the troops.
it's very important. That's where you get the word morals, by the way. And that's why cheerfulness and optimism is so important.
And
So-
this movie screen, real quick, didn't mean to interrupt you, but that movie screen showed all kinds of movies of the troops and everything and events in World War II.
Live for something rather than to die for nothing.
And that's the plaque for the Desert Training Center. And to the right of it is this wall of remembrance for the men who died in Korea. And on the back side, got some interesting people there.
These are the people who donated to it, but they have a fictitious character. And this is from the DC Comics, and his name is Sergeant Rock.
Ah, never heard of him before.
All right, and here's the beautiful museum here. They have tanks from all over the world. Right to the right up there, there's a Jeep with a scaffolding on it, and they use that with canvas on it so it would look like a Jeep because they wanted to get as many of Jeeps available to look like tanks so they could get into the,
No, it's called
Training.
practicing.
yes.
They had to do war games and learn how to fight in the desert. So they didn't have that many tanks, so they used that's the word, improvise. That's a big word.
And
And we're on the wrong side of the fence here taking these videos of the tanks, but you get the idea.
So since it's winter time, the weather is quite pleasant. It's about 70 degrees, and then you have the nice breeze. It was really nice.
Call that a hurricane. That wasn't a breeze. It was blowing me away. I don't have your strength of fit legs to stand in one place. Look at that pink thing.
Yeah, that is a Russian tank.
It is?
I don't know if it's
That's not a very good camouflage.
no, it isn't, and that is
Samuel Young, who they named the camp after. It's called Camp Young,
yes.
which is right here. And this is where Patton had his headquarters for training the troops out here in the desert. And we'll see the trailer in a minute that's in the back.
There's a
That
map.
was his trailer.
There's the map of this super largest ever training facility.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, didn't we?
Right.
How huge it was. And then training almost 2 million soldiers to go fight in the desert and, of course, win. I love this picture of the flag. Look at that. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's why the breeze was so nice. I mean, it was really made it beautiful.
Yeah, we have a few more tanks here. Those are interesting looking machines.
So Briggy and I have gone all over the world for General Patton. Right, this is in the very back. This is a little impromptu cathedral.
It's a replica of a church that they have out in the desert for the boys.
That's the trailer that he used. Now we're going all the way to Luxembourg, and Bridget and I got to
go to his funeral site, his burial site, excuse me. There's Jack.
Yes, and here's Briggy.
Yeah, it was raining that day too, by the way.
Now we're going back to Southern California. This is the Patton home.
In San Marino.
Where he was raised.
They had thousands and thousands and thousands of acres back when he was a boy.
May have been hundreds, but
okay, hundreds of thousands.
But I don't recall. Now we're going all the way to Kentucky, where we went, and this is at Fort Knox,
which is a tank facility, a base or whatever they call it.
So this is where all the gold is kept right here, and only 2 presidents have been here, and the security is really high, and I couldn't take any more pictures other than this. This is his helmet. That's at the Fort Knox Museum. And this particular statue is made entirely of wood, and the artist who did this was still alive at the time that we went to Kentucky, which was, I think,
2016 or 17.
Yeah, 2016.
Yeah, that's a little blurry, the picture of his helmet and that out of wood, because we took it off a video, our video.
So you can find it
but anyway,
on our channel.
Look at the artistry here. It's carved out of wood and painted. Amazing.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Jack, about the website.
Yeah, so we've been all over the world to see everything that there is about Patton. So this is a remarkable place.
He's our favorite general. Guy was amazing.
All right, and there's his ivory-handled pistols.
He was so proud of those.
They're not pearl, they're ivory. And this is San Gabriel Mission, Archangel. And this is where there is a nice statue of General Patton. All right, so this is.
It's also a cemetery, by the way.
Yes.
Yes.
And here's the statue there.
Kind of need a little less dark picture, but you get the idea that that's him. Yes. You can't mistake.
Right, and there's the
engraving or whatever.
Engraving, yes, about General. And by the way, he was born on
November 11th.
November 11th. This is the Patton homestead in Massachusetts.
Yes, and you can visit that also.
Yes.
And there's that flag, which is at the museum in Sriracha, which I can't pronounce, the summit.
Suraco.
Yeah.
Suraco.
And then that picture, of course, everybody knows.
So on behalf of my lovely bride, Burgomeister, this is Action Jack, saying we'll be back, and it will be soon, and that's the name of that tune.